Hi everyone. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time now just talking about flat feet and yoga. And if you're anything like me, you'll notice that your inner arch completely collapses to the ground and touches the ground, as opposed to having that very nice, natural, deep arch that is probably there when you were born, until at some point you did way too much trekking and hiking and wearing bad flip-flops that you lost that arch support. So at some point in my travels, I noticed a lot of severe pain in the base of my foot, and at the time I didn't realize what was going on. Well, I had an inkling that I was just putting a lot of stress on my plantar fascia as I was doing a lot of walking around with my rucksack and hiking up mountains in bad footwear. And I went for a period of really noticing some sharp pains. And I think at the time what was happening was that the fascia that was supporting the arch was degenerating. And so then eventually I sort of ruined my feet in the process. I don't really have a problem with the flat foot. It's in my practice. It's more so when I go back to hiking and after a few hours of up and down hill, sorry it's really thundery here right now, I start feeling the pain in my foot, in my knee, in my hip. And so in my yoga practice, I'm really sort of conscious about that flat foot and always look at ways to try and support the arch in my practice and bring back some strength in the natural arch support. And that's from the deep calf muscles that run down deep in the calf all the way into the arch of the foot, but also through to the toes. So what you'll notice is when you extend your toes, the arch comes back, and there's a natural sort of arch support there. And also if you grip the toes down, if you grip the toes down, there's also, it helps to support the arch, as well as sort of ankle movements. So everything we do to use the foot and the toes is going to bring back an aliveness and a strength into the deep calf, which should help support a little bit the arch of the foot. I don't think there's a lot we can do to bring back the integrity once it's gone. So what I do in my yoga practice is really focus on activating through the feet, lifting the toes, lifting the heel, just playing with keeping the tissues in the foot mobile and supple and strong, and deep calf as well. So whenever I come into a posture, for example, I always play with lifting the toes, spreading them, dropping them back down, finding center heel and the 2 points, the ball at the base of the big toe, the ball at the base of the little toe, and the center of the heel, those 3 points in the foot, I always try and play with and feel and press evenly and firmly down into the ground. And sometimes I like to, for example, if I was to come into Trikonasana, and there's a tendency just to dump. So if I don't do anything, there's a little bit of a collapse in my arch. My knee sort of rolls in, and it's not really doing anything except putting an unnatural and unhealthy strain on the body. So, little things you can do is lift, engage the whole leg, press the 3 points of the foot down, and then keep that engagement in the leg. Maybe soften the bend so don't hyperextend and lock, and then drop the toes back down. The other thing you can play with is actually lifting the heel and trying to get the calf and the deep calf to activate. So lifting the heel and then really trying to press the foot down into the ground, and you can feel that in the calf. And that takes away the hyperextension. And then try and keep the activation of the back of the leg, basically, and then drop the foot down with control without just dumping back down. So try and keep the back of the leg, underside of the foot awake. You're still pressing the ball side down as evenly as you are pushing the heel down. And then just check in, for example, that the kneecap is facing in the same direction as the middle of the ankle and the second toe, that they're all facing the same direction. If your knee's pointing one way, and the point of the center of the ankle is pointing another way, then it just means you're not quite stabilizing or activating here. So when you're all engaged and you're hugging the leg in evenly, everything should be, knees should be pointing in one direction, same as the middle, second toe, sorry, and the middle of the ankle. All right, so in postures, lift the toes, keep the legs active, place them back down, maybe lift the heels, try and press the foot really down into the ground to activate the deep calf, lower down, and then just feel that both legs are alive. And a lot of people put a lot of focus on the front of the leg in postures. So for example, with a lot of the guidance to pull the kneecaps up, people focus a lot on the thighs and the front of the thighs, and what happens is we just get this arbitrary pulling up of the kneecaps and a pressing of the knee joint back, and that can be not so helpful if you're a hyperextender. So instead of just trying to straighten the legs by sending the energy that way, we want to try and, as much as we push the legs back, we also want to push the leg forward. So it's more of a inward. Imagine the leg as a hollow tube, and you're plugging your hose pipe, which are your legs, into the ground. And then imagine drawing up water from the ground. So you've created a sear with the 3 points of the foot. You're pressing evenly down those points, and then you're starting this process of drawing up, sucking up as you keep your lock down and rooting down into the ground. And then you want to suck up, it's like you want to suck up water in through the bone. And that will give you the sense that you're also sucking in the back of the leg as well as the front of the leg, going in and up, in and up, in and up, in and up. And the same goes for the inside and outside of the leg. When we're drawing in, we should feel that the inner and outer ankle are sucking in and up. And same with the shin, in and up, in and up. So it's going in this direction. The knee is not either pushed to outside or inside, but drawing in to the center and up, into the center and up. So hollow pipes, hose pipes, sucking up. And so what we're trying to get is that the skin and the soft tissues and the muscles, the fascia, are closing in around the bone and creating this sort of supportive bandha evenly around the whole leg, not just the front engaging at the expense of the back. And that should happen in all the postures, whether that's a narrow-legged forward fold, feeling the back draw into the bone as well as the front, inside and outside, as you come down in your forward fold. And it's the same for a wide-legged fold. Again, seeing if you can get that sucking action of the leg and the soft tissues towards the bone, the very center of the leg line. The same in the trikonasana, again, hugging all the tissues in towards the bone. And then, big thunder, coming into trikonasana. And it's a very different feeling when we can get all four sides of the legs to engage like that, as opposed to just pressing the kneecap back. Seeing how we can really activate all four sides of the leg. And that gives us a better control when we move through and transition. So often what you'll get with people who just jump into the leg, they don't really engage, the back is just becoming sort of overstretched and not energized. They find it really hard to come out of a posture, because then to come up they actually have to press the foot down, engage the back of the leg and come up. Whereas if you're engaged throughout and you're aware of your whole body and the whole body is working together, then coming out of posture and transitioning should feel like very breezy, very easy, very controlled. So the practice was really about how much can I spread my awareness throughout my body, and how evenly can I spread that awareness, not just focusing on 1 point, 2 points in the posture, but more and more the whole body, every cell in the body as we move through the posture. And the more you can really feel every cell of the body, the more the body sort of knits itself together. And you start moving with a lot more awareness, a lot more grace. And sort of bridging the gaps in the energy body, in the fascial body, so that everything works together as one unit. And that's the whole, I mean, that's the benefit of doing the asana practice, is that it can really knit together the physical body, the energy body, and address any blockages, any weaknesses, any areas that overactivate, tense up too much versus areas that just don't activate at all. And so that global awareness in our practice is what brings the natural balance back, not overly focusing on one area or the other, but seeing the asana as a whole and yourself as a whole within the asana. Hope that makes sense. I don't know. I went on from talking about flat foot. Yeah. So yeah, you can lift the toes, spread them, gently press them down, find the 3 points in the foot, press those down evenly, lift the heel, press the ball of the foot down to activate the back of the leg and underside of the foot. Play with the inside and outer side of the foot as well, and make sure that both are even and you're not too far on the outside. For example, I know a lot of teachers will give guidance to, press on the outer edge of the foot. And for me, that's too much on the outer edge, and I actually need to bring more balance and press the big toe back down most of the time. And the same with the front, we'll say stomp the big toe down, but actually I need to stomp the outer edge of that foot down. So you need to look at what's happening in your body and how you're engaging or whether you're disengaged in a certain way. And you need to find the balance and the instruction that works for you and not necessarily follow the idle cues that we give to the whole class. So the cues that we give to the whole class are our general rule, but sometimes you may not fit into that category, and so it's always worth looking at your own body and what you're doing and where you're over-engaging, under-engaging, and just playing with your own sense of yourself. All right, so have a little play with that and let me know how that goes.